Everybody, welcome to my channel, Becoming Your Own VIP, Mind, Body, and Soul. Today's video, I'm going to be discussing meditation, and there's actually a lot of ways that you can meditate. Meditate is basically a deep reflection, self-reflecting, and pondering over pretty much anything that takes you deeply within to receive answers that you're searching for, right? So you have like the ancient yogis in India and stuff like that. They do the meditation where you have your hands and your legs crossed and you're basically eyes closed and in deep meditation. That is one way to do that. Basically, the practice is to observe your thoughts. So a lot of people feel guilty or feel like they're doing something wrong if the thoughts continue to ramble within their mind and constantly go. That's definitely going to happen, especially as a beginner. It happened with me, and even to this day, there's times, depending on what's going on in my life, that might happen. And you're to observe those thoughts. So these are your quiet times to yourself. That is a way to love yourself. So it's a form of self-love, because it's about your mind and getting your mind right. And if you don't even know what your thoughts are saying, because maybe you're so active in a day, or maybe you're so auto-programmed with those thoughts that you're not paying attention to it. But to sit down and meditate and to actually hear and observe those thoughts, those images that might come up, those feelings that come up, you can then kind of start understanding what's going on with you. Now, meditation actually has a lot of health benefits. It helps when it comes to your attention. If you're all over the place, it helps you direct your focus. It calms your mind. It brings more self-awareness to your mind, to your emotions, to your body. And it helps with your heart rate, your blood pressure, ADHD. It helps with stress reductions. It helps in actually a very large number of areas in your life, and it helped me lower my anxiety. So I was able to get off my anxiety medications, pain medications, because it really helps you become more in tune, calming your nervous system, things of that nature that before we're always so on automatic pilot mode, go, 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 go. I got this to do, I got that to do. But we are of nature, and our natural nature is to be calm and be one and be still. And then you have meditation, where you can have just sitting down, listening to calm, quiet music and looking out in nature. And just thinking. You can be in your house and just be in your room, having nothing else on, and just having those quiet reflections and really listening to yourself for these answers. So again, I talked about asking empowering questions to yourself. Well, then after you ask those empowering questions, or after you pray, then that's a good time to go into silence and self-reflection and allow things to come up for those answers. That's the whole purpose of that quiet time, is to get those answers within you so you can heal, and so you can receive guidance as to how you should carry out your day, intuitive ideas. Maybe I should reach out to so-and-so because someone might need you on this day. It really helps you attune yourself to your soul and your inner callings. Then, you can meditate by walking, standing. You can meditate by sewing, cooking, doing artwork, creative projects, because your mind is so focused on that one thing that it actually allows you to clear out all of that mess that's going on in it. You again, at times don't even realize how loud your mind is and how overthinking it is. I know they consider this monkey mind, because your mind is just all over the place. And as you practice meditation, as you practice self-reflection, as you start releasing yourself from the outer chaos, TV, music, video games, social media, all these distracting things that's going around, toxic people, toxic energies, toxic environments, toxic foods. Once you start eliminating a lot of those things, you start becoming more in tune with yourself. And this is why it's considered self-love. Because you're starting to take steps to extract yourself from situations that were truly unloving, unkind to yourself. And so meditation was one of the next steps that actually was the first step. And then it was affirmations, but I'm making the meditation video after my affirmation video. But meditations came first. And I had a lot of chaos going on. There was a lot that I didn't even realize. And it answered a lot of questions. When you think about how many times you drown it out. For me, I drowned it out when I couldn't understand in alcohol, in drugs, in food, in watching mindless TV, socializing because I didn't want to confront myself, finding something to go do. That's something sometimes you may still encounter. I know sometimes I do. Like if it's a really deep emotion I'm dealing with, I may not realize I'm doing it, but all of a sudden I'm thinking about all this other stuff I want to start doing instead of sitting with myself and dealing with the emotion that's trying to present itself. So meditation also helps with your breath work because you start listening to your breath. And breath work is very healing, and I'll do a separate video on breath work. But when you think about how unaware we are of our thoughts, our body, and our emotions and our feelings, meditation just brings it all together. And it just starts clearing out all of that toxic energy and the toxic thoughts. And, it aids you with saying, you know what, I'm good with not talking to this person today. Every time I talk to this person, there's a certain energy, vibe that I'm getting, and it's always a lot of negativity talking about people. And, I'm not with that any longer. Or when it comes to the foods you're eating and all the grease, or, eventually maybe even meat, because I'll go into that later. I did become a vegetarian. I still eat cheese. But there is just certain things that you'll start seeing and feeling that it's not good for you any longer. So I've taught in numerous videos, you can have healthy relationships and toxic relationships with absolutely everything in your life. But the number one thing you always have to deal with is having a healthy relationship with yourself. And a lot of the times we're not healthy with ourselves. So these are first steps that I've taken, that I'm incorporating into these videos to aid you all, and pray that this will help you. But meditation, it was very interesting to get involved in it. I definitely did the YouTube videos for beginners for yoga, for meditation. And I had to listen to them on how to breathe. And it took a little bit to get into it. And, even if you start 1 minute, 5 minutes, and then, after 1 week, increase that. But then you'll start seeing like, oh, shoot. Okay. All right. This is actually, I'm feeling a little bit more calmer. I'm feeling a little bit more at ease. I'm feeling at more peace. You are becoming more aware of your body and your mind, and then you're a little bit more interested. It's not pleasant depending on the information you receive, depending on the deep wounds that you might have. That's something that you deal with, but the calming effects of meditation and your breathing and subtracting the things that are toxic start helping you dealing with those things. And I'll discuss a little bit more on those difficult feelings and emotions. And what's interesting is your healing process through meditation allows you to cope with that. Because if you have anxiety made things a lot harder to deal with anxiety and the nerves and the emotions and the breathing. If your body is out of whack and all over the place, then feeling those emotions are very, 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 very uncomfortable. And meditation begins that process of saying, okay, let's first train our mind and body to work together where we've not done that before. And then you can start incorporating more. By asking yourself more empowering questions and learning to listen to yourself, you develop self-trust. You begin to understand how to love yourself, not to listen to others, and take their, listen to people, but not necessarily take it all to heart. Because in the end, you start finding the answers within that truly are aligned with you. So I'll have some images posted that help with letting you know more about meditation, but I definitely ask that you do research on meditation. Again, just dance, read a book, artwork, things that are healthy for you and that you can feel comfortable with doing, and eventually progress into other things if you so choose. I did meditation, and then I incorporated other things because I always loved to read. I always loved to draw. Not 100% the best dancers, but you know what? I worked it in. And also, you know, you could take dancing classes, and you just start finding fun with you. For a long time, we always searched outside of ourselves to people, and we get lost because we're wondering what other people are thinking, feeling, what they want to do, what they will think if we did this, or if we said we like this, or whatever. Or maybe we're just too busy because of work and all these things that we take away from the things we used to love. I remember I was so busy with work or so tired that, shoot, the minute I opened a book, I'm going to go to sleep, knocked out. But you lose track of those things you love. And now I find time, because I took out TV, because I took out the mindless stuff, that I can sit down and read a book that actually elevates me, educates me, and provides answers to my life, and to heal, and to help others. You know, that wouldn't have been possible without some of the things that happened in my life that redirected me. Okay, so meditation is one of those, and I would love to talk more about meditation. I also will say that I don't necessarily always sit cross-legged. I found to this day cross-legged meditation is uncomfortable at times. Now, I understand there's a discipline with that posture, and that is a beautiful thing. So I do it. But there are times when I do stretch out my legs. So I'll sit in my bed, you know, and I'll have my back out like I'm in a chair, but then I'll extend my legs out, and, you know, or I will sit in a chair, like office chair, couch, and I'll meditate. I might sit at the edge of my bed, and then meditate that way, you know, again, having an erect back and neck and everything. And I'll do my meditations that way. You know, the biggest thing is the purpose of you getting in touch with yourself. And again, if you're doing things based off of someone else's expectation, and we're grown, you know, a lot of people practice meditation, especially in the Eastern regions, since they were kids. You know, they were trained that way. They were around that. That's what their family believes in, and things of that nature, where we may not be introduced to it until much later. And our body's like, look, I'm not sitting cross-legged like this for Lord knows how long. So do what makes you feel comfortable so that you start understanding yourself, and then, you know, try the cross-legged position. So I did attempt the cross-legged position. I did. And the 10 minutes, that worked fine. But the minutes I started going into longer meditations of 30 minutes to an hour, sometimes I do 2 hours, you know, that cross-legged position sometimes was not working out for me. And so then I would stretch out my legs, and then I found that was a little bit more comfortable. So I want you to be able to introduce yourself to yourself in the most loving and kind way, because what you find are things we've avoided for a long time, we didn't want to deal with, and that's okay. It's okay, because you're now choosing to say, I'm ready to make a change in my life for the better, to face these things so they will not impact my life any further, so that from here on out, I'm making changes that are loving and kind to myself, that are helping me elevate my life and the people that are in it. So that when I'm saying something, when I'm doing something, when I'm taking action, it's not hurting me, it's not hurting anyone involved. I don't have to apologize to anybody for anything, because I'm doing what is right with me. Okay? So I hope this video helps. I don't want this going too long. Please ask any questions that you may have. I'll definitely be glad to answer them. You guys have a blessed night, and thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and have a blessed night. Thank you.